So, yes. But speaking of much love for their team and for their goalkeepers and players and whatnot, I want to go to our next hit here, and that is the Minnesota Aurora, whom we have a phenomenal interview with Cassidy, the designer of these kits, coming out here on Saturday. It's Memorial Day weekend, so I think you can stomach through an hour 40 of a great conversation.
Yeah, we did not expect that long of a conversation, but
we were all wanting it to be done sooner, but then we started talking and then we couldn't stop talking.
It just keeps going.
It's that kind of day.
Keep going.
That kind of day. But they are playing right now for their the Aurora right now, so shout out to them. But here is the Minnesota Aurora Midnight Kit for 2025. This just looks nice.
Yeah.
It gives me a hint of the classic kit that they did 2 years ago, or 2 years ago, which was really a classic. And that blue with that red and that teal look really sharp together, and it's not overpowering. And I think that's kind of the uniqueness of this kit. It's not going to punch you in the face, but it's going to look good.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Like it's creative enough, but also it's a nice, cool, interesting geometric pattern to where it's.
Yes.
And I feel like geometric patterns don't, like you said, punch you in the face. They don't. You're just like, oh, look at that. That's a cool pattern. So yeah, I'll let you to dig into that one.
Yeah, and also with this kit, one of the things, I don't know if you can see it here on the image, but that pattern that's down here at the bottom, this, I don't know what I'm called the pattern. It also fades up into the top, but it's a darker blue. That is a nice little attention to detail to make my complaint about that Richmond Kickers bridge pattern being kind of overwhelming and too much. This kind of fades it and adds a nice little twist to it, which I think is just nice.
That's very Cassidy, making everything more complicated.
You'll learn about
Watch the interview. You'll understand that joke.
You'll understand it. But when this comes to my score here, I feel a little bad about this one, but I gave it a 4 for design and aesthetics. I think this looks really sharp. I love what was done with the that gradient on the collar and the cuffs. That's just like a cool little thing. It's not something you normally see. Normally you see one or the other, like one color or the other, and they might alternate or maybe do a little bit of a piping on a stripe. But this is, and it's not also the cuff, but that's just a nice pattern, and I do like that. But that gets into the visual details a little bit later. But the overall aesthetic, I do like this kit, and I would totally rock this in a heartbeat. So
Easy.
Probably should have given this a 5. I'm sticking with my 4 here. So it's set in stone. It's set in stone there, which I should also probably pop up the scores here. Yeah, it's set in stone, so can't change it. When it comes to authenticity and tradition, I did only give this a 3. I could have probably popped up to a 4, and let this, given what they did with the classic kit. I'm not quite certain I'm there yet. I do like their use of the star in this kit. Could have probably bumped it to a 4. I'm sticking with it. It's a 3. When it comes to visual details and execution, though, however, the inclusion of the stars in the pattern, the gradient cuffs and collar, it gets a 5 from me there. That is just astoundingly beautiful.
He did it. He gave a 5.
I gave something a 5. Yes, I know. So I think this is a well executed kit, and this looks really good. So happy to see this kit. And then finally, innovation and impact. I would give it a 4. I think that this one looks sharp. If you're from Minnesota, you're definitely picking this one up. But when it comes to outside of that gradient, stripes on the sides, which I keep talking about those gradients, and that color kind of popping, it's not the most innovative kit. Now, this is going to be really well. The impact's going to be big, but I think the innovation hinders it a little bit to a point where it can't be a 5. And that's why my score is a 4 for innovation, which leads me to, well, a 4.0 for me for this midnight kit.
Yeah. And I am not too far away from you, obviously. Obviously, I liked it a little bit more because apparently you hate good stuff. But
Someone's got to be the Grinch here.
someone's got to be the Grinch. But like, I put a lot of thought into this. Like, design and aesthetics, everything you talked about is exactly why I gave it a 5.
I know.
They work so hard, and like you're talking about on the cuffs themselves, like those actually fade around. The design fades away, but it's still there just enough. Like it's not gone. The collar is actually interesting. Like everything about this is just so cool.
Yeah.
So that it's a 5. Like there's nothing I could say like, oh, they could have did this or fixed that. It's a 5. Authenticity, again, that's a 5. This looks like a Minnesota Aurora jersey. I like it. Visual details, they hit it out of the park. It's a 5. The only thing that I gave it any type of criticism on was it kind of the opposite of what you just talked about with innovation impact. I feel like they were fairly innovative with everything they did. I just don't know how much of an impact this will have. And the only reason why I say that is because of the other kits that they came out with this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'll definitely get to that away kit at some point because that's
a
high need.
Yeah, that's a high need. So that's going to be one of those things that like, and I try not to do that, but like this is still, I feel like this is a big pickup, but I could also see some collectors like, okay, it's just geometric shapes it's just cool how they did it or something like that. But the other one tells a story.
Yeah. And I think this kit does its job as a home kit. And I think that is one of the things with a really well put together home kit is sometimes you're going for a certain look and you do the best that you can to make it as good as you can. And it comes out beautiful, but it may not be the perfect looking kit sometimes. And I think when you have a kit like this that's really nice at home, then you're allowed to tell a beautiful creative story with their away kit. And I think that is kind of what hurts this kit a little bit because of that kind of relationship.
Yeah. So it's a 4.75 for me. It was 1 point away from being a perfect 5.
Yes. Well, for you.
For me individually, yes.
Yes, it was off for me. But at $90, again, Hummel. Wait, have all these been Hummel so far? I just noticed that.
Hummel.
Yeah, all these have been Hummel, and all of them tonight are Hummel. So.
Yet none of them have two of them have the exact same price of $90.
Which is
and one of them is $89.99, so essentially 90. But
yeah,
like
30. That's kind of hilarious.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. So, but at $90 for this value of the kit, which I think is really good looking, this is a 4861 kit value. This is really nice. Looks good. Looks sharp. Keep it up, Minnesota, especially on and off the field. So I do like this kit. And as a soft reminder, please be on the lookout for our interview with Cassidy. You're going to love what you hear in that.